Hi Sagittarius, this is Leah Fresh Astrology. If you want a reading with me, you can find me at www.freshastrology.com. If you want to become a subscriber and member of our tribe and join us there, you can find us at www.tribetripsandretreats.com. Tribe's core mission is to support and provide community for women in midlife who are looking to reinvent through becoming entrepreneurs and starting some new venture. That is how we came into existence, to support that population. However, we have many kinds of people in our tribe so far. We have men, we have younger women who don't necessarily have their own business, but it's just a community that we're growing, and come join us. So Sagittarius, we're looking at 2019. Just a sneak peek. This is not the full forecast, but I like to look out over a longer time horizon. I think it's more realistic. It sets expectations more properly, more realistically. And by realistically, I never mean that we need to limit our dreams and desires. I only mean to say that there needs to perhaps be a realistic time frame. To give ourselves time, and to give the universe time, and to give others time. That not everything happens overnight. Most things don't. Most things are always building up to and evolving. And so it's useful. When I do personal readings, I always look out over a longer time horizon. Not because I'm choosing to do that, it's really what the astrology says. I'm looking at what the astrology says, and it's always longer time windows to think about, and I find it less stressful for me, and I can tell for my clients it is less stressful just to know, like, I need to wait 6 months, I need to wait a year, I need to wait 2 years for everything to time the way I'd like it to time. So what I'm focusing on in the sneak peek is Jupiter. And I realized, as I actually recorded a whole other set of these, that I was jumping to what I think is the most important story of the year and leaving out poor Sagittarius and the fact that Jupiter is going to be in your sign as we begin the year 2019. And that's a lovely thing to have happen. It does bring in a new era for you where you can start fresh, and it does feel like a bit like a rebirth, and in whatever way needs to happen for you given your life right now. If you're very young, it's going to look like a very different kind of rebirth than if you're much older. But it will, for all Sagittarians, feel a bit like a rebirth. It also depends on where Sagittarius is hitting your chart, which house it's governing. If you're a rising Sagittarius, it governs your first house. That would make this more precise, but it still, even if you're a Sun Sagittarius, it still feels like a rebirth. And even for your moon sign, if you're a moon Sagittarius, it would just have different subtle, nuanced meanings, based on whether it's your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign. But for that kind of precision, you would have to have a personal reading. When I'm talking to thousands of people, it's going to be nuanced and different for each one of you. That being said, it's a year of luck for you, but the bigger story is what's happening in your second house of career, and earning money, spending money, in some cases marriage, themes around marriage. In some cases there is kind of a resurgence and something happening with your value system. You're taking a look at your values and who you are and what you stand for. So that's also a theme here. But I do think over time, over the last 10 years, you've been building toward some powerful changes in career. And it's been a long, just like I was saying, astrology plays out over a longer clock, a longer time horizon. It's taken 10 years for you to get to this moment where your values have led you, and kind of who you are at your core has led you to this moment where you're choosing something important in your career. You might be starting a new career. You might be changing your career. You might be recognized as a leader in your field and finding greater success in 2019 and into 2020. But you are becoming who you're meant to be through your career in this case. It has, every time Jupiter passes into a sign's second house, it brings luck to career, and you end up making more money and also spending more money, as one would when one makes more money. But because you have Pluto and Saturn here already, creating, preparing the way for something much more profound to happen, it's as though you're meant to be arriving at this moment, at this specific time in 2019, later in the year, when you're really finding yourself through what you do to earn money, if that makes sense. So I would advise you as a coach, I would kind of say, I can't tell you what to do, but I would say it would be interesting to consider what your values are, what you stand for, and how you express your values in your chosen career, or if you can't express your values in your chosen career, to more closely align your values and who you are and what you stand for with what you do to earn money would certainly be, I think, a recipe for success. So be thinking about that now and into 2019, because by the end of 2019 there's such a big moment in your career that I think it would be most satisfying to you to be aligning what you do for a living with who you really are. So that being said, have a great rest of your year. Kind of just be thinking about this, contemplating this, what you can do to further align yourself with who you really are, and know that good things are on their way. All right, take care.